Bruh. Bruh. Bruh.
Happy Monday, traders. Welcome to episode 945 of the show. You couldn't be doing anything because of Corona, so you're here. Appreciate it. Kind of a meh day, really, right? For stocks, you know, some equities have shined like the Jesus men. I mean, God, Tesla, killing it. AMD, some tech stocks. Amazon, man, doing things. Regeneron hanging in there. But if we're talking about Bitcoin, Bitcoin Live, mixed signals, title of stream, we'll kick it off with that like we always do. Where you got those signals, and let me talk about it for a sec, alright? So on the 4 hour, you've got clear, concise, textbook, beautiful, bullish divergence. All right, it's playing out right now. And it might be good, right? Mixed signals, aka contradicting variables, make it not as good to trade. It's not as good or as viable to trade in those, with that going on. So the divergence playing out, we're finally getting positive momentum again, and that'll keep building on higher prices. If it's to go higher, it very well could, especially getting above historical support resistance. But you could run up to 7K, test that as resistance, and fail to break it before reversing the downside again. Okay, so that's like the bullish side. Here's, doesn't it look like two diverging down sloping trend lines, what we call a descending broadening wedge? Multiple anchor points on the top, two on the bottom, good enough. You failed to touch it for the third time. What is that? Could be a partial decline. Or partial decline where if the asset that painted this pattern was to run up and test that supply line again, there'd be a 70% chance of a breakout to the upside, which makes sense. I think if we break above 68.19 and hold above it long enough, I think there is a very good possibility eventually you could get near the 7,400 area. It's a big if, man, because as you can see, it's not easy determining what side is going on. Who's winning right now? Is it bears or bulls? So you've got that. The other part of the mixed signals is the fact that you've got maybe, just maybe, let it be known and shown here first before it happens. It hasn't happened and may never happen. Meeting that criteria, everything except D right now. For a potential cipher, a bearish cipher pattern, where if this divergence was to play out, equities were to remain strong, where we know Bitcoin's been following equities market pretty well. We could have, this could be right here. This could be the fuel to get you to break out and run up to get near the 7,400, but to fall short. And it could be just a reliable bearish cipher pattern. That's definitely an idea. Something to think about. I mean, that's where this could take us, the divergence here. But my issue is the fact that we go to the futures chart. We broke out of a channel that you could have had plotted since March 20th. You broke out. Hey, yeah, could run on up and back test the area as resistance. Could test the 200 moving average again, whatever. Great news, you are above 68.40, which on this chart is very important. All right, and we've seen some momentous runs after back testing that. You break it, you back test it, and you ran to 10,500 plus, so we're talking about this right here. That's why these critical areas, you're above it, good for now. But I mean, it's the first time as of yesterday where you broke out, and that's kind of concerning. But depending on what swing low you're talking about, I guess you're still making higher lows. You don't have any bullish divergence here on Bitcoin futures on the 4 hour. None. No seller exhaustion yet. So that's where it starts getting a little tricky. Also, you go back to spot price and you go to the daily. Daily's like tired. It's just drawn out uptrend. You've had positive momentum since March 21st. It's waning. Eventually that'll go red again. There's not much of a real sell signal. I mean, you could try to argue that this high to this high equals divergence, but you know how we do it, right? We like the separation of the histogram islands. We don't have that. It's the same freaking island by far, for sure. So, based on high point to low point, we've only hit a 50%. We've only hit that 7,400 area. There's always the offshoot chance. We just have to talk about it and say it, man. Always the offshoot chance you could run up to the next fib node eventually, which is near $8,000. That's the golden retrace. Bitcoin loves the golden retrace. It also loves the 50%, where we have reversed. So, we really like waiting for an edge on the daily, and then we like for the 4 hour to coincide with the daily to take our position. We're just not getting it. Everything's just still kind of out of sync, and it's like that on the S&P 500 and a lot of the equities where they have dumped. And if you're looking at a daily, it's still just a bunch of positive momentum on a reflexive rally after crashing. That's all you have still. So all we can do is kind of look at the 4 hour for clues, breadcrumbs of where we might be going next. But where we might be going next might be just to run up to make a lower high to fail to dump then, right? So that's what I'm saying, man, about mixed signals. There's just all kinds of crap. It's making things very partly cloudy. What do you want to call it? Or mostly cloudy, sorry. Fishhead says 3 rising valleys on the daily after crashing. I don't know, man. Normally you want to see 3 rising valleys appear when you're in a nice, long, sustained uptrend. You've corrected. It's like V-chain, I guess, in a way. You know, it was kind of making higher lows. It was perfect. So I don't know, man. And really, 3 rising valleys, really, dude, you know the measure moves like, it would be like 11K or something stupid. I just don't think that's really what it is, even if it does go higher, because it would fail miserably probably of hitting its measured move, okay? Hope y'all had a wonderful Easter. Legit. It was, man, kept up all night for the most part. Dude, my NOAA weather radio, I've never had it go off so much in the same period of time. Like, I've never. It was like, there was a time last night where it's really loud and does like the alert, and then it'll do the robot voice and tell you what's going on. And then like as soon as it gets done briefing, another alert goes off and it starts briefing again. And it was like 4 or 5 alerts, like warnings in a row. And you're just like sitting there like monkey ass. Where, you know, it was, I think, confirmed in Mississippi that there was the largest tornado on record since Joplin, Missouri in 2012. EF5 tornado, huge. So, I'm glad we survived that one. But you just gotta wonder, we're in the middle of tornado season, so more will come, for sure. Slub Yagmer, Crypto Glenn. Hey, Bill Johnson, what's up, dudes? Oh, it's the Charizard chaser, man. You've gotten the mint condition Pokemon cards. Worth, like, you know, evidently, I think they're worth a lot if you got the right condition. I don't know. So, was that Pawn Stars episode where the guy just, you know, there's this guy and he's got like all the mint condition, like first edition, like Charizard hologram cards. And he walks in, it's like this metal briefcase and just like opens it up like you'd be looking, you know, like there'd be ounces or billions of gold in there. It's Pokemon cards. So anyway, your name's just making me go on. Whatever. Okay, so that's Bitcoin. That's a pretty deep, in-depth analysis of Bitcoin, right? I mean, you talk about the 4 hour, there's contradicting variables, right? There's arguments on both sides. Still, right now what Bitcoin's doing is at 68.39. We'll go right back to the 4 hour before we move on to like another asset or something, you know. You gotta understand where we are, and it's 68.19, sure. But it's also, you got to think, hey man, the heartline of this channel has been so freaking well respected as a resistance, as support, and now it's being regarded as resistance. So you're in the lower section of this parallel channel or this linear regression channel, whatever the F you want to call it, I don't care. You're now, you know, I get that we have horizontal line, support resistance looking left, this historical 68.19, but you got to keep in mind, this has been great. And when you, like, this is like what's so great about the linear regression channels or the parallel channels, whatever, with the heart line. When you fall below the heart line and you start back testing as resistance and you fail, I mean, that means there's a good chance in time you will see the bottom of that channel again. So you got to break that, and you haven't yet, okay? Divergence. Let's see something happen, man.
Is that a joint?
Can you check out Link Plaza High for your time in TA?
Yeah, Andrew, thanks for the 420, man. Good to see you. Is that a joint? Old Elon, man. Killing it. That card was in the briefcase in Pulp Fiction. Yeah, there you go, dude. Yeah. I don't think so, man. I think Pulp Fiction was around before Pokemon. Almost certain of that. Yeah, Pokemon was like going on. I was like in 5th grade or something. Okay. Good luck, Bitcoin. So Link, hey, you know what I want to do, since you didn't specify, I want to go to Link to BTC again, let it be known so we can shout it from the mountaintops. Link to BTC, been looking at it in log scale. Why? Because of its long-term uptrend. It's been pretty freaking gorgeous. That's the whole life of the chart. But you got to understand where we are now. You're at major reversal points. You've got coinciding, not much. The only kind of contradicting variable here for a Link would be the fact that your overall trend is bullish historically. That's about it. Everything else kind of points to lower prices right now, especially if we're talking about the 4 hour, where you got this impulse up and then you got this upsloping consolidation that converges, or it's nearing it. Like the higher it goes, the closer it gets to what would be considered maybe an apex in time. That's a rising wedge. That's kind of an exhaustion pattern. Not only that, from the previous major high from March of 2020 to the low point, you've hit a 786, the deep retrace areas. That is where harmonics reverse, right? The price reversal zones, pattern completion zones. That's where we are. Yeah, of course, this asset could remain irrational longer than we can stay solvent. It could see the 886 technically and still inside of this pattern. But you got to think 1 high, 2 highs, 3 highs, consecutive lower highs on the RSI. That is very discernible class A bearish divergence. This is what we want. This is what we're looking for, where it's almost like, let there be no doubt that you're at deep retrace areas of value for short, and you've got bearish divergence on the oscillators. Magnifico.
Happy 413 day. Just kidding. Thanks for the TA as always. Was tuned into Amazon, Tesla and Reagan today. Plenty of action.
Is that a joint?
Yeah, I'll pick one of those, and I mean, I don't know. I mean, they're all good. They're all good, man. Yeah, I mean, we can just look at. Crap, man, those are great assets to look at, Grub, man. Thank you for 420. So that's linked to BTC, right? Not too bad. Okay. Tesla, why not? Tesla's not doing anything weird at all. Dude, we did like analysis on Tesla on Friday or Saturday or Thursday or something. What are you worried about? What is weird about this? Nothing. Nothing's weird about this. If you're looking at linear scale. Today is the first day. You gotta be so proud of Tesla. The first day it's achieved the golden zone. It made it. It just happened to be an extremely large impulse candle where it was up 13.6%, and after hours up 2.87%, $669.60. That's a lot of sixes, man. Day after Easter. Jesus chimes. Exorcism, exercise. Tesla, please. Okay. So, no edge. Not on the daily anyway. This kind of to me looks like we could just think about it, right? Maybe a dragon of some sort, and the dragon's broken out, but it broke out days ago. Like you could just think about, okay, here's like the head. You just think about geometrical breakouts, like one here, and then here's a pivot point here, and you got the 2 feet. It's kind of tough. They're much better looking dragons, I think, out there. But you know, the target of a dragon after a breakout, it's the 618. So that like the target you would say for Tesla is like 733. And that's like a profit taking level, right? It's like a bullish breakout pattern. It's like a premature harmonic where we can do and look at it like this. Like, and we'll move that XA, right? It's like it kind of just looks like the index funds, doesn't it? And then you got the 886, and it's a bat, man. Hold on, let's move this one to this wig right here, a little bit higher. Problem is on this one, it's not really deep enough, right? To be an actual, it's 35, it's close, 3% off the minimum criteria for a bearish bat if it was good. So this could be a great shorting opportunity at $900 or around $900.
ETH, RTR.
Bruh.
Hey, Rossman, roll tide, dude. Thanks for the $19.99 super chat. Wow. Holy crap. Jacob, man.
Tesla devil, how is the Tala want to die?
Is that a join?
Towel won't die. Yeah, well, welcome to bullish macro conditions. I don't know. I guess there's big money out there that holds value in indoctrinating Chinese children, making them subservient to becoming communists. Because that's what they are. I mean, you know, they teach the kids math and science, but they also don't teach about the evils of communism. So, and they also, you know, committing fraud. That's also real, but meh, who cares? PE over 300 or around 300. Yeah, I guess we can look at that if you want to. We'll look at Ethereum too, but that's kind of like the look, you know, or this could go much higher. But if you're talking about a dragon trade, that's a profit taking level 733, and you're talking about taking a short, it would be up at these levels, and you'd be looking for some sort of 4-hour bearish divergence, or maybe even daily bearish divergence if you're lucky. Okay. So that's all we can do, man. You analyze these assets, and it's that's how you size them up. Size them up for a trade. If there's no trade, what's the point? You can just do trend analysis. Yeah, it's an uptrend or it's a downtrend, whatever. Okay. Ethereum. Well, I mean, it's at its golden zone. Hit the 382, hit the 200-day moving average, and rejected the 200-day moving average. Now it's at very critical supports. Look left. You can just see it. October and September 2019. Look back here, man. The January 2019, and there's a crap load of resistance up here. So you're not out of the woods really until you truly break 165. And, dude, there's just so much resistance being created here. Each peak can act as a potential reversal point. So is it turning into a U-shaped recovery? It could look, man. It's gonna do what Bitcoin does. It is underperforming. It's underperforming Bitcoin by like a fib node, one fib node. Where Bitcoin, if this was the Bitcoin chart, Bitcoin would have hit like 195, right? This one's not. So underperforming. It's gonna do what Bitcoin does, but we understand without the context of Bitcoin that it's hit the golden zone and a major reversal could come at any time now. But there's not like buyer exhaustion or anything going on the daily, right? You don't really have an edge yet, and that's what we're waiting for. It takes a lot of time, especially, after the impulse, it takes a long time for an edge to develop on the daily. So we just look at the 4-hour, and we see, hey, man, holding on to the upsloping channel, the demand line. All right, divergence, very, very real and apparent. It's just like Bitcoin. Wow, I'm so surprised by this, man. Right, divergence on both oscillators. So impending price action reversal the upside on the 4-hour, now the daily. So that means higher price possibly. And what idea do you think we could see here, chat? Come on, X, A, B, C, D. That's it. If Bitcoin was to start rallying, if this demand line on Ethereum was to hold and we were to go to higher prices, maybe a great shorting opportunity could be up at like 171, right? XABCD stuff. Unless Bitcoin dumps.
Why not 3 rising valleys? They typically happen at end of downtrends. Check. Having month away. Check. Holding 20 megaamperes daily. Check. Perfect pattern to what that would break the downtrend. Can you go over what it is for educational purposes?
You want me to do a Rising 3 Methods educational segment? I mean, we can. Look, I mean, dude, that's like a lot. I mean, they are reversal patterns, but you can have uptrends, long-term uptrends, and then you can have midterm to short-term downtrends inside those long-term uptrends. We're in a long-term downtrend on Bitcoin since June of 2019. So, yeah, they can act as that. And I'm not saying it's impossible, but I don't know, man. That's just not the way I'm looking at it. Though you could very well be right. Okay. You want to know what a rising 3 methods is, chat? We can do it. We can do a little education. Yeah, so it's like you got a nice uptrend going on, you know, because bullish patterns, bullish trends, and then, you know, and it's been going on for a while, and then you know, you sell off and you retrace 50%, 62% of the way. All right, and you start getting exhausted, and then you rally to the upside. Okay, this is what I'm talking about, you know, and so you make a high and then you sell off, and then you make another high. And then you sell off, right? And so this is what he's talking about. Where you have one valley, proportionate, or the second and third valleys are proportionate to the first, right? And then you have 2 peaks, where you could just say it's a channel, man. It's an upsloping channel, sure. You're talking about Bulkowski. You've got 2 peaks, 3 valleys. And well, I mean, I guess we do it like this. Forget it. Oh, okay, sorry. And so on the second peak, that is where you draw something called the confirmation line. And if on the third valley you pivot, and that's a great long opportunity right there, when you can see it start pivoting and making that third consecutive high or low after that confirmation line's been created, you know, with the second peak. That's the lowest risk opportunity once you start rounding out, or any kind of indicator that you're starting to pivot, go to the upside. The pattern, you know, was to play out. It's like this, okay? And so how do you measure a move if you broke that confirmation line? You go from the bottom of the pattern to the confirmation line, from the first valley to that confirmation line, and then you measure it from the breakout, and there you go, right? That's where it would take you. Hold on. Give me a sec. Okay, so like, perfect real life example was a Patreon trade setup we did. I mean, it was like, you can't even make up how perfect it was. It was almost like, hey man, we got a VeChain whale with us, just hanging out. All right, you see this pattern. You know, it came after kind of an uptrend, and you know, and then it reversed and made these higher lows eventually, then the lowest point, right? Yeah, end of downtrend, sure. But the context is more bullish, right? So here it is. Perfect textbook 3 rising valleys pattern, where you had 1, 2, 3. Our entry was right around here. Started seeing that, you drew the confirmation line, we eventually broke out, and look, we even back tested it as support, the confirmation line, and we ran up, hit the 100% measurement. This is the way I had it plotted. I like measuring my moves from, you know, candle low closes, not the wicks. And look where this brought us. I mean, it's like too perfect a pattern. But look at the context, right? Much higher lows before, right? You tried to make a low, you tried again. It's like, dang man, we could have had a great harmonic or something, gotten value down here, and just never came. And so then you started painting the new pattern. Is anyone here? Chat? Can you hear me, man? Y'all are taking me away from what I want to look at truly, and it's freaking gold, man. Gold the Kang making multi-year highs today. No one's talking about it, man. Screw gold, because we love Bitcoin. I get it. I get it. Understandable. I guess we're on VeChain, so maybe we just look at it. You know, dude, this one's like... Hey, good news. You're like cracking back above all these supports. Low, lower low, lowest low. Give me a break, man. Underperforming Bitcoin. where Bitcoin, if this was the Bitcoin chart, it would be up. It would have hit like up here above the 50%. This is like Ethereum in a way. And it's just like this upsloping consolidation, you know, not visible on the daily. If you were going to call this three rising valleys too, I don't know. And if that's the case, you'd already broken out, right? So let me see, you know what, Fishhead, let me see, post your pattern. Post it for me. Let me see it. Okay. But anyway. XAU Moon Boy, oh my god!
Is that a joint?
Bruh.
Look here! Look, listen!
Kings.
Kangs indeed, XAU Moon Boy. We the Moon Boys. Gold Kangs. Oh my god, it's so freaking gorgeous, man. Broke the multi-year, I mean, you had hit multi-year highs March 9th, 2020. Dude, seriously, that 50, man. All right, we're on gold, so screw it. I'm gonna do my analysis like this, all right? Hey, man. Hey. I am the Vault Boy. I am the Golden Moon Boy. Hello, dudes. What's up? So, how about that? And it all started, right? This is like we're talking about, hey, three rising valleys? Well, I mean, like, you know, what's the overall trend? Well, it's been pretty freaking bullish. Long-term uptrend, and you're getting bullish patterns. You know, that's what you're looking for, right? Looking for those three rising valleys or those double bottoms or inverse head and shoulders and stuff, right? Yeah, very overbought. You know, no exhaustion yet. 83 on the RSI. That should pull back. I think we would eventually, for real, man, and it could happen today, tomorrow. We should eventually test 1704, regarded as support before going higher if we're gonna. All right, that's real life. Want you to see, we look left. You've broken extremely critical areas. I can't get there, man. Oh, we got there. Hello? Okay, dude, guess we're just gonna go daily. Screw it. Alright, let's look at history. When gold was at these levels. Alright, understand, when gold was at 1719, back in 2011, 12, yeah, it was like 11 through 12. It was only a couple years we were up at these levels. So correlation, after you break it, you're straight up, you're straight down, you're straight up, you're straight down, you're straight up, you're straight down. This was like, yeah, this could 1763 very well could be a somewhat of a reversal point. Sure. Straight up to down. All right. Yeah, here too. Also here, right? That's your next real resistance, 1750. All right. Gold peoples. So beyond that, right? Straight up, straight down. Straight up, straight down. Straight up to that 1750 and then down. All right. So why is it gonna like not go up and test 1750 if that's the only historical resistance above us right now? And then above that is pretty much $1,800. Okay. And then above that, forget about it. Then you're starting, wait, man, 1900, 2000 and onwards. Okay. This is all-time highs. So that's it, dude. Pretty momentous development on golds. We all love it. All right. I'm going to turn this off. It's kind of creeping me out a little bit. You enjoyed that analysis of gold with me being some sort of gold person? Hit the like button below. So thanks for being here. All 477 of y'all. Thanks for the 178 likes. Appreciate it. So let me check. Oh man, were we caught up? Oh, let's look at Amazon, right? Amazon was killer, dude. Yeah, Regen's there too, dude. Amazon, all-time highs. Can you even believe it? Yes, you can believe it. You can. It wasn't really all-time high. It was so close, man. So freaking close. We talk about V-shaped recovery. This is the Jesus man. Broke its September 2018 high like nothing. There's like word that they're hiring 75,000 more people. So in the past 2 months, 175,000 new employees for Amazon. Gorgeous. As is the stock of 2020. I don't know. But there's not really... What do you want me to do? We exceeded the 886. You're back to all-time highs. That's it, dude. Like, straight line up. Straight line down, straight line up. You held support. Perfect. He came in expecting a slice of bread, talking TA. Oh, I know, man. Right? Y'all think that would help me grow? So, Mike Lamb. Hey, Wayne Benson, dude. What are you talking about? Huge structure fire near your place? Structural fire? News copters just showed up. Wave, say hi. So, what do you think? When you're saying looking for an edge, what do you mean exactly? It's very simple, man. When you learn how to read charts, the charts will sometimes be telling you something, and other times they're telling you absolutely nothing. It's foggy. It's mostly cloudy, right? But then there's sometimes where all the variables line up, and what you want more than anything are the variables to line up on the weekly, then the daily, then the 4 hour, and you want it to be happening at the same time. And you trade the 4 hour, right? You take your long or short based on the 4 hour that is already lined up with a daily. And so unfortunately right now, after a crash that we saw on all markets, we're still in that daily period where you're still in the rally to the upside. And when that's the case, the daily doesn't give you much of an edge. So you wait for another sell-off, a leg down again, and maybe at that point we could be finding an edge on the daily. But for now, we're stuck with the 4 hour. That's all we kind of have to help us discern maybe where the price action is going next. Okay, so an edge would be like, if you know how to read your MACD histogram, you know how to read the RSI or stochastics, right? If you know how to identify patterns, those are all the variables that could give you an edge. And if they're all saying the same thing, your argument gets stronger. So you keep compounding variables, and then you switch from the daily to the 4 hour to the weekly and say, holy crap, there's even more variables.
Posted and unofficial. Third one is zoomed in.
Oh yeah, that's cool, dude. So this is his idea, where he thinks there's like one valley, a second, and a third, and this is your second peak. So, I mean, I get it, man. I get your idea. But the context, right? I mean, just the context, though, is a crash and a long-term downtrend. So your bullish pattern may not be as reliable here. And now, okay, so now we're developing a third valley. See, to me, I thought that someone already had this idea or argument where we had already like broken out or something. Someone was doing like 1 and 2 and 3 or something. So this is a different look, you know, a revised look for sure from the idea. So, okay, if you can hold, maybe, man. maybe, but it's just a pattern by itself, right? Do you have any other type of edge, like the trend being bullish, the macro being bullish? Not so much. But like, this could kind of go into me talking about mixed signals, where you've got kind of a bullish argument on the 4 hour right here, where you could rise. But at the same time, daily, there's no edge. Weekly, there's kind of an edge. Weekly is like been showing that bullish divergence. Continuing to show that divergence, where well, soon, if you keep this up, you'll be going to positive again on the MACD histogram. So that's what makes it even trickier, because it's like normally you're wanting to see weekly and daily divergence at the same time. You don't want the daily to not be giving you an edge with a weekly, but not the 4 hour, but now the 4 hour. Like how I had grown accustomed to Bitcoin was always the daily giving, you know, over and over and over again. The daily giving us an edge. The weekly not so much. But then like the stars lined up like the Jesus man down here. And it was legendary. But here it's like it's just a different situation, right? The stock market was bullish. There wasn't COVID-19. The whole world economy wasn't shut down. These are like fundamental variables that are really make things a lot trickier. Market conditions are not as stable as they were, though you say that after we capitulated, talking about like the world's macro conditions. Hey man, look what you're doing now. See, look, you're above that support for now, 68.19. Stay above it, you could be good, man. We could rally once more. It was almost like last week we painted some sort of shooting star that was green, not red. I mean, you got an argument, man. So you would say I'm sorry, I'm looking. Good God, man. I was looking at it the whole time. You got an argument, I guess. You'd say your argument would be 3 rising valleys with weekly bullish divergence. Developing, maturing. And you're above 40 on the RSI on the weekly. That'd be your argument.
Surged a bit today. Thoughts?
What's up, Charizard? Yeah, man. Look at Netflix. I think it hit really critical resistance or something. Alright. Oh, it broke that resistance. Oh, it had already broken out. Yeah, this one's wacky, man. Okay, so really cool though in the end how all those trend lines played out, where we had this upslope support forever, and we were falling below it, but we would, you'd spring back and you'd back test the spring, and then again, right, stock market crash, it was delayed a little bit, went down, had price action below the demand line, but never stayed below it long, and then you just had this V-shaped recovery, and now here we are at 1.5 years, almost. I mean, you're going on 2-year multi-year highs. I mean, we hadn't seen these prices since July of 2018. So major resistance broken, as you can see, 1, 2, 3 times, 4 times. Now you're above it, and it's very and you did fill a gap. Okay, let it be known that today, of all days, Netflix has finally filled that gap all the way back from July 2018. It's really up here. Did we hit it? Oh, my God, we hit it like the Jesus. $400, man. Let's go. So that's it. It's a gap fill. And all-time high levels around 420.
Is that a joint?
So that's a big, major breakout, man. But you got to be aware that now what we would maybe do is we understand where resistance is next, and you got to get some follow-through price action. That's certain, right? Because it could just up thrust and then fail. I mean, you really want to sustain prices above 386 for an extended amount of time. I think it's very, very possible for Netflix to back test 386 before it runs to higher prices, if it's going to, right? So you could just Fibonacci from the high you just broke to the low, and you get, look at that, the 1272 is confluent with, the all-time highs. Yeah. Reasonable target up there. 420, man. That would be your target if the price is sustained above 386. Okay, long
How
enough.
do you set up the parallel channel with a hard line? I am behind looking at euros on BTC.
Parallel channel or at the equidistant channel, because they both have heart lines, right? But maybe you're talking about this. Talking about this one right here. We're talking about this. It's called the parallel channel. Your drawings panel on the left. Go to the second one from the top or whatever. Isn't that it? Yep, and then parallel channel right there. And then you create it. And the criteria and the rules for the parallel channel is you must have 2 anchor points on one side, whether it's the bottom or the top, and you only have to have 1 on the other side. So you're gonna have 3 touches total for a valid parallel channel. So like, look, like 1 and 2 and 3, valid channel. Okay, if you use these anchor points like that, you could have had this channel since March 30th or so, and it would have stayed like this and would have been perfectly respected, right? How do you get the heart line? Very easy. Once you draw your channel, you double click on it and you click middle. That's it. Simple. Very simple. Hope that helps. Crypto and travel. Thanks for the $5 super chat. I put a green filter on. I don't know why. No, it's that snap camera filter, the app. Let me see what I can do real quick. Yeah, it does look kind of weird. Let me fix this. Hold on. Yeah, that's what it is. It's all weird. My white balance is... I always turn my white balance off because it screws things up, but watch this. It'll look more normal now. Right? A lot more normal. Cheers, crypto and travel. Thank you for the 199 super chat. Much love. So we got Bitcoin 68.64. We've been live now for about 50 minutes. So if you're enjoying that live stream, hit the like button, that bell, that sub. Thanks so much. So Fishhead, you get me, man. On 3 rising valleys, it's like your argument would be you got that, and you got the weekly bullish divergence that you think that would be what would get us to break out if it's to play out. But to me, man, it's just like I wouldn't look at it like a 3 rising valleys because I know like once we get, if Bitcoin really does keep going, I mean the 618, 8,000, 7,800, that square up, all that stuff over here, I think like that's kind of the top area. Like that I mean, that's the golden zone, right? That's where we know Bitcoin has reversed many a time at a 618 up here at nearly $8,000. But from the crash, from the high to the low, that's how we measure. And we know that it could go up one more fib node and it wouldn't be weird. But still, daily, no real edge. Oh. What's up, John Mucha? It's Goward, man. We're also in a correction from a historic uptrend. Yeah, are you talking about this one? Or something? Or this one? Mark F, in a few months from now, you're all gonna miss watching all these live streams live? Are you? Well, hopefully, if it's in my hands, you won't be missing it because I'll be continuing to live stream every day. I mean, is that not the whole point of it? Isn't that what we do? The life of Bitcoin uptrend. I got you, dude. Yeah. No doubt. But we want to. We haven't done this. I guess we can just go individually. The S&P 500, or on Friday we had a 50% retrace and closed below it. Today we opened right around where we closed, a little bit, you know, just a little bit down. And what did we do today on the S&P? Well, you filled a gap. 100% filled a gap. Thank you for doing that. But also, when you filled the gap, you went ahead and back tested March 2019, June of 2019 support. Right, you back tested. Good. Very good price action correlation. So, I mean, it's not over yet. It's not over yet for the S&P 500. Where if you back test and you stay above this long enough, we could continue on up, and we know the 618 is up here. But isn't it interesting? Where the stock market crashed, Bitcoin crashed from their respective highs to lows. They've both recovered 50% now. Bitcoin a little bit over, you know, just we would say like 55% on Bitcoin. So Bitcoin in a way is outperforming since the rally, you know, the reflexive rallies have started on both, you know, asset classes, assets, right? So I mean, you gotta think about it like this. If equities are going to continue to run to the upside, you could very well see Bitcoin going to higher prices too. And that's the way it's kind of been trending. Don't worry, I will never be going to D-Live, dude. Blah. Yeah, John Alfonso, friggin' weather, dude. I mean, kept me up all night last night. Screwed everything up, really. It's rough. Man, it's so wild. Like, you know, I'm getting bot attacked, right? Like, I'm getting botted with dislikes every stream now. And I don't know what it is. It's not people, dude. It's not like actual real people that are like, hey, yeah, dude, 47 people in a Telegram group being like, hey, raise live. No, dude, it's not like that. That's just not how it works. I don't have a hate group. It is someone botting, and this is how we know it's botted, because when I'm live, I have all those dislikes, right? But as soon as my video, once I'm not live anymore, my video finishes processing, all those dislikes just go away. They just disappear every single time. And I don't know what that is. And I think it might have something to do with if you have a certain like to dislike ratio when you're live, you won't get recommended. Yeah, I think they've changed the rules. And so someone's trying to suppress my ability to be recommended to people on YouTube. I think that that's what the conclusion I'm drawing from this. There's like a concerted effort to try to get me shadow banned every time I'm live. Okay? The dislikes always disappear. We'll have like 10 to 15 dislikes legitimately every stream. So just wanted to let you know what I think's going on. So that's the S&P 500. Hey, you know what? This 50%, right? It is showing 4-hour bearish divergence. Right, I mean, this is real. Like, you get a high, you see a discernible low, and then you get another high, and it's like lower levels positive MO. You know, and so we could break this and come down, and eventually somewhere in here we could make a higher low and then run again, and end up making 4-hour triple MACD bearish divergence or something, because we're not overbought yet. So this could, like, we could, you know, just think about it like this, you know, with the S&P. It could, of course, tomorrow it could just break to the upside. We break 2820, we go to the 618 at 3K or 2930, right? Or, you know, worst case happens, makes it not as easy for everyone to just be all in on longs, right? Where we scare people, whatever, we come down here and then we go again. And then, like, that could paint, you know, like this, and then you get one more high or something, and it's like the triple MACD bearish. That's like something that could be in the midst of playing out.
thoughts on Bitcoin stock to flow? And, do you have any TA on XTZ Tezos?
I mean, stock to flow is kind of like our only way of determining like the value, I guess, of Bitcoin, which Bitcoin is right now kind of climbing again, 68.88, breaking above that heart line of the channel. Very good. You got to break above that for sure. We know there's a supply line. Well, first off, we know there's horizontal line resistance of 7K, but then the supply line's up like 7,100 or so. I don't know. I mean, it sounds like a sound argument from what I'd read. And it just goes into why it has some sort of value, right? So other than that, I'm not that versed on it, right? You know, it's like you asking me about stock to flow is kind of like, hey man, you're watching Ivan on Tech, and it's like, hey, what do you think about this bearish Gartley on XRP or what? You know, he's gonna be like, oh, what? I mean, I get it, but not really. Tezos. I'll say this. I think there's value in Bitcoin because of the amount of electricity used. 69.05 on Bitcoin. We're at session highs, 4-hour highs anyway. The 4-hour candle high. Divergence is it's definitely playing out, right? Positive momentum's here. We could see higher prices with more positive momentum follow through. Easy. Okay. But yeah, I mean, think about how much electricity has been used in order to mine Bitcoin after all these years, how much manpower has been involved. And no company that exists on the planet could do anything like that for the market cap of what Bitcoin's at right now. What is it? Press this button. Coin market cap, man. Yeah, Bitcoin, $125 billion market cap. You couldn't find a company that could do the amount of mining, you know, that could expend as much electricity and manpower for the same price, right? So that's why I think there's value in Bitcoin. But that's a way to tangibly look at it. I mean, Tezos looks just like so many other coins where, hey, it could be like in a U-shaped recovery, or it just looks like bearish consolidation, you know? I mean, that's what it looks like. Tezos to the US dollar, I don't know, on Bitfinex. Some data, I guess. I don't know why I'm just plotting those right there. And look where we are. You know, you fell below that, what should have been a critical support. It's now support, right? You sprung, and now you're back testing the spring, and you're holding, but just know there's some sort of like channel going on. So yeah, we go all the way up like that. Yep. So it's like testing the heart line of the channel, and I mean, just you could use either high here, but I would just go high to low. You know that Tezos underperforming Bitcoin, where we know Bitcoin has a 55% retrace, Tezos 38% from the crash. So these are the same peaks. Same peak. Bitcoin's at 10,500 something here. Tezos was at 393. So underperforming the big boy in the reflexive rally. So that means it could outperform if Bitcoin starts dumping. So what do you see kind of? I mean, there's some sort of, it looks like, supply line here you've created. Oh, it's like price contraction almost, right? Kind of. Like you're reaching an apex, and this could break the upside downside. It has a lot to do with Bitcoin. Like if Bitcoin runs up and breaks 7,000, starts going to its respective resistance points, right? If it does that, then there's a higher probability Tezos little consolidation would break to the upside, and we could eventually run up to the next fib node, which is the 50%. And if you look at this chart, which I don't know, man, I'm sure there's more data on another exchange. This is what I hate about crypto a little bit, you know. Oh, I have to like remember or search for an exchange that has more data than the other freaking crap exchanges. That's real fun, dudes. That's real fun. Okay, so based on this stupid chart, breaking above $2, you could easily see 250, 248, the 50% retrace. That's an easy no-brainer there. You got a little valley at 229, and then up here, you know. There's not an edge. There's like no edge right now. A symmetrical structure is the epitome on a chart of neutral. You're above your 200 moving average, that's great, but it's still, down sloping. If we get a break to the upside, maybe that thing will start turning around. It's all on Bitcoin, man, and it's underperforming Bitcoin. Yeah, well, Kraken can go F itself. I don't really care. All right. But thank you for letting me know. Capitalize, congratulations. His welfare stimulus check money is pending in his checking account. Good stuff. Good to hear that some people are getting that. I'm sure there are a lot of people still waiting on it. Like, majority of people still waiting on it. Oh, Algo's always changing EBMOS. Always. Hype in the chat, dead in the chat. What do y'all want? So that's it, man. You're just starting to break. You're attempting to break the heart line of the channel. A beautiful channel. Very, very good looking interpretation of what Bitcoin's in, what it's doing. It's in like an uptrend and like a mid to short term uptrend. And that's what this chart signifies. And you've got the divergence in this kind of uptrend that's playing out as we speak, where we're now starting to see positive momentum, and we can see much higher levels of positive momentum on higher prices. And those higher prices, since you are above 68.19, the next target would be 7,000. That's where you think we would go if we can hold and sustain prices above the heart line that we're trying to break right now. AMD. Let's go. Almost 50. Oh, it's up 1.32% after hours. Beautiful, man. So you had an inverse head and shoulders. We broke the neckline of that confirmed pattern now. But we know the confirmed pattern measure move is up at 6280. And we know, like, if the macro conditions start, we start seeing some turbulence there, we may never get to that. But what could happen is we could be in the midst of developing a bearish cipher pattern. You see these all the time. They often can be major reversal patterns. And this would make all the sense in the world. All this volatility and scary price action occurred. So we've been looking at this in log scale. Gorgeous freaking channel. And so you think, hey, we run up, we get close, but we just can't achieve all-time highs. So if there is some good-looking divergence, or there's like an edge on the market, or there's a reason to believe we might be reversing, this could be a reversal area at 55.34. That's like, depending on that, is where one could take a short and ride a very large wave down again. It all depends on the macro, of course, the Fed, unlimited quantitative easing. Who knows anymore, man? These are variables that have never existed. When Wyckoff and Gartley, Steve Neeson, all of them were doing, Bulkowski, they were doing the research. There was no such thing as unlimited quantitative easing. Like, what the? Just unlimited money printing. More than we've ever done ever, dude. We're just unprecedented times. So I don't know how those variables are going to affect the equities market for the long term and midterm, really. Oh yeah, local only. Sorry, forgot. All right, so the two schools of thought. If you're super bullish, 100% measure move for AMD, 6280. If you're bearish, let's see what the variables, see what the oscillators look like when AMD gets to 5530. All right? It's that simple. You did bullishly engulf today. And you back tested that neckline on the daily twice. Before today happened. Get that right. So there was a back test of a trend line you broke out of. And these are things like that I try to teach in here. Right? What back tests are, what confirmation is. You know, if anything, it's almost like a break it and go in a way. You never see on this candle, you gapped up, making it less clear, a little bit more nebulous. Is it a break it and go? It was a hook, and a go. Today was the go candle. So that's like kind of what this channel is about, man. Trying to give market analysis, but at the same time, I'm trying to teach you, you know, what to identify, how to identify it, all that stuff, man. Right? You know, it's hopefully positive. Who wants to go back to work when the dollar's worth nothing? Yeah, what a joke, man. What a freaking joke. Your puts on AMD are dead. When did you take those puts, man? Because, like, you know, timing's everything. And you might be a king if we get to 55 bucks, man, in the dumps, but it's too late. If your inputs now, yeah, you might be screwed. You're just hoping for the major index funds to reverse at the 50% retrace to the downside bad, which we aren't doing yet. All we're doing is back testing old historical supports as support again. No, Kevin. I'm not. We can do it right now. Sure. Regeneron. Yeah, just methodically upsloping. Yeah, I got some stuff here, okay? I mean, you just gotta... I'm looking at this in the weekly. So, what is going on here? So, there's something called a bearish shark pattern. Alright? Bearish shark pattern. It is kind of a different pattern. It's not the same as like your Gartley, your Cypher, or your crap that have, let there be no doubt, there's one PCZ, there's one pattern completion zone, there's one price reversal zone. On sharks, it's a little different. It's kind of like butterflies, but it's a little better than a butterfly in terms of like, it's not a big zone. It's just two separate fib nodes. The first fib node is kind of where we are now, where we're trying to break above it. It's, you know, from the high to the low point of the structure, an 88% retrace. If worst case scenario happens and a big short squeeze is continuing on for regen and we bust to the upside, the second entry for a short would be at a 113% retrace from the high point to the low point of the structure. So that's like 579. So we could reverse here, but if things are insane, truly insane, we could go all the way up to 579, and that could be a reversal area. Okay. Crap. I'm trying to delete these alerts because the alerts are good for me, but they make things really busy on the chart. I mean, I've already got like, and so, you know, why I think the 886 is a very viable area where it could reverse, and it would make sense is because it's confluent as F, man. From this B, then this high to low, you're at a 1414 fib extension. From this high to low, you're at an 886. There is stupid confluence here, man. Like crazy good confluence. And at the same time, on the daily, you're showing some really nice buyer exhaustion. Where you keep this crap up long enough, I mean, and buyers just keep getting weaker and weaker, this will eventually start maturing. Someone said I need to learn how to say mature. I know what it is, but it's kind of a joke. It's like my dad says mature. Okay, he's like super old school Southern. All right, so don't tell me how to say or how to pronounce mature. So anyway, this should start eventually waning, and then, all right, the double top can come into play. Let me put these only on the weekly so we can get better vision. So here we are, man. Way up in outer space. You made a high. You made a 6-year high on volume, if you didn't know, on Regeneron on this peak. And then you crashed, and then, but not really. I mean, you dumped hard, and then you recovered, huge engulfing candle, and it's been just almost nothing but green day every single day. And so, but look where you are, right where that wick was, that high from March 19th, 2020. We had that multi-year high on volume. I mean, like, you're at it. So it's like your volume somehow is continuing to recede, which is a form of divergence in itself. So it's like piss or get off the pot time in these areas for Regeneron. But the thing is, there is resistance to the upside if it's going to go. Like 526, look left. It's a peak. All the way back from July 2017. Always run there. Look, after it broke this August 2017 level, it just kept going. So now it's kind of in outer space just with its previous wick high. All right, so you really want to start seeing weakness here, but dude, I'm telling you, Regeneron, it's like a market leader for trying to find vaccines and stuff. It's like, we need it, man. The world needs it. So it's almost just like going short on Jesus on Easter, dude. It's like, I guess, the technicals are there. I mean, it's gorgeous. It's like a beautiful education asset. Like, we're looking at it and we can become more learned, and we can apply the same stuff we're applying here to other assets on other charts on other markets. But again, at the same time, it's like they're trying to, what happens if they do all of a sudden, like, oh, we had a breakthrough news, boom, you're just gonna blast off to the 1618 fib extension up here, like 550, man. Eventually all-time highs, right? That's what, dude, all-time highs, man, back here. That was at like $605. So you get what I'm saying, right? Like, technically it's gorgeous. It's gorgeous, but the question is, would it even be here if it wasn't for being what Regeneron is? And that's like a medical company, biotech company trying to develop a cure or vaccine for Corona? Probably not. So that's why it's got to be careful. Been live now for like an hour and 15 minutes. If you're enjoying it, hit the like button and build us up, I guess, if you want. It's all good. I might have to be a meme, Wayne Batson. Maybe, dude. I mean, you and Black Plasma are the meme kings, and I am holding the crown. I'm holding it for meme of the month from last month, dude. That's all me. The first and only time ever, and probably be the only time. And it's because, FYX. Oh my god, his puts, man. Every 5 minutes. A lot of just freaking, cloudiness across the markets because of that crash. And we're still waiting on the daily to develop stuff. It's just not yet. So Joker. Mr. Magoo, hopefully you understood what I was talking about. And it's like, it's not easy. And it's like, if one's trying to go short or try to make gains on Regeneron dumping, maybe, just maybe, a decent idea, and I'm not telling you to do this, maybe a decent idea would be to not be leveraged just in case the bad stuff happens, right? I mean, I get it. A put is like, you can only lose what you put in. I understand. But if I think I'm remembering right, puts are extremely expensive on Regen right now. Could somebody give me clarification on that? Not cheap, high premium, for good reason. What happened to Tavarius Jackson? Tell True Vision, that's not TA, that's Wall Street bet stuff. But there's a whole community that do that. They gamble on earnings. That's all they do. I think FYX loves that too. That's his thing. But that's not applying coinciding variables to any given chart and having an edge on the market, right? Oh, did XFL go bankrupt? I thought it went bankrupt like 3 or 4 times in the past of us being alive. Is that not real? Anyone? Doing a little XRP, man. Just to get out of the way. Hey, man. Nice divert. This is like beautiful double bottom stuff, right? This looks better on XRP than Bitcoin. Yeah, you can go tell the XRP army. Like, this is gorgeous looking. I mean, that's what you want, dude. You want to see this and this. Perfect potential double bottom. And it could go higher, right? This looks like the same thing, where this could, if you're lucky, could take you all the way up to a 786, right? And that could be a great shorting opportunity. Yeah, 113%. That's the minimum criteria. 786 would be a textbook cipher. So Bitcoin's got this same freaking thing, man. Call me crazy now. This is gorgeous. Freaking gorgeous coinciding variables, man. Nice stuff, dude. They paused operations. You thought it had a chance? Dude, imagine being XFL. Well, we failed multiple times in history. Never really worked out. But we're going to start. And then coronavirus. So, Raj, thanks for being here, man. Dang, man, I didn't know that. That sucks. XFL. Yeah, dude. So gold just hanging around 17, 18. We can look at the quad screen. We haven't looked at it once today. Look at the S&P 500 top left. Dow Jones top right. Gold bottom left. And the NASDAQ. Bottom right. Just skating along. Major resistance. Above this, not much more resistance. It's kind of like the Qs. Right? These are major areas. And you're not breaking it. I guess you're holding this part, this peak right here, looks like. But the real thing you want to see the NASDAQ do is break above 83.33. And if you do, I think there's a real good, and you engulfed today, it's not much of an engulfing, but you did. If you can break 83.33, there's a gap fill, multiple gap fills. Like one's at like 85.50 or so. And then another one, God, right above it at like 87.50. If the Qs continue to hold, if the macro and the S&P and Dow Jones want to continue on up, continue this rally, there's like probably no question the NASDAQ would eventually see this in this reflexive rally we're getting. Big ifs. It's all about that gap down, gap up. Dead chat. Dead streamer. Alright. I'll let y'all get out of here. Probably putting people to sleep. Sorry about that. I wish I'd played Fortnite or something. It was more entertaining. So I'll just be back sometime later. Thank y'all for being here. We got 36 minutes till that daily candle close. You really want to see Bitcoin close above 68.19, but you really want to pay attention to this heart line. You're trying to break it. It'd be amazing if you did, because you'd see 7K, and if you could break 7K, you got a supply line at like 7,100, 7,050. There's a bunch of resistance above you, but it's all here, and we understand there's bullish divergence on the 4-hour, and this could propel us to higher prices. Right, but at the same time, we haven't seen negative momentum on the daily since March 20th, and now that's waning. So eventually, we're gonna see negative momentum again there. All right. So mixed signals. Now hopefully you understand a little bit what the title meant. So I'll be back. Thank you so much for the likes, love, support, contributions. XAU Moonboy, thank you for that freaking 50. I think I know who that is. Thank you, dude. Seriously. I'll just be back. Until next time. Respect the TA.
Adios, turd nuggets.